Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another CCP, a little bit of a sneak preview video on the brand new champions coming to the game, Dragon Man above me, and also Airwalker. So I'm going to upload my breakdowns on both of these characters' full abilities right now. They both should be live on the channel, so if you'd like to watch this one first with Dragon Man, stay tuned. If you'd like to go watch the Airwalker one, go ahead. Just to let you know their classes, this guy is Mystic. Everyone thought it was going to be Tech, but he's actually Mystic. And Airwalker is Cosmic, so if one of those classes interests you a little bit more, you can go ahead and check out that other video. But if you want to stick around, let's jump into this one. So Dragon Man up there, he looks pretty cool. I've always wanted to have like a dragon in this game. For Iron Fist, I've always wanted his L3 to be like him, like riding the dragon or something crazy, you know. Love dragons, they're very cool. So being able to play a dragon-like character is gonna be awesome. This guy's coming second out of the two new characters, so he'll be coming out on August 27th. So about Dragon Man, you know, we made a video talking about the new characters a little bit, their comic book origins, and so you know this guy is a robot essentially, but he was brought to life through Diablo. So that's why he's a mystic, you know, through Diablo's alchemy, science and alchemy. So, you know, if he was a science character, I mean, he could be science, tech, or mystic. There could be an argument for any one of the three. But so Kabam decided to go with mystic, which is a little bit weird because we've already had like 5 mystic champs this year and only 1 tech. So if you look at it like that, it's like, why? But yeah, we got another mystic. So let's jump into a little bit of the numbers. So his prestige, so for 5-star prestige, 10,630. This puts him, I think, at number 5 for the Mystic class. And then for a 6-star, rank 3, 6,200, 13,670, which puts him at 3rd for the Mystic class. Behind, I think, Dr. Doom, Sorcerer Supreme. I think he's 3rd. He's pretty high up there, so, you know, top 5 in both, which is pretty good. So he is Mystic, like I said. Basic abilities, Power Charge, Ineptitude, and Unblockable. So this guy sounds like an absolute balls-to-the-walls damage output character. He's not going to be your power controlling, buff control, regular Mystic champion. He's not like that. He's very different. He's kind of reminds me of like Thing, but like as a Mystic champion. But with some, not power control, but like power negating abilities, I guess you could call it. But we'll talk about it. So a couple of his strengths here, power gain. He gets a power charge ability, which is pretty unique. Gives him like power over time. Knockdowns, when knocking out his opponent, he gains an unblockable buff. And if you weave this in with a special attack, you can pause it to get unblockable specials, which is cool. And then opponents with buffs. Dragon Man is the first champion to use Ineptitude, which inverts the potency of Fury, Armor Up, Precision, and Cruelty buffs quite significantly. This becomes especially powerful if the opponent is using Infinite Duration buffs. Black Bolt. Found your kryptonite, buddy. So weakness, Stun. When stunned, Dragon Man loses all stacks of Power Charge. Since his combat power rated quite low, without Power Charge, he will struggle to retaliate against his opponent. Also, Petrify is not going to be because you can then inverse his power charge potency. And Nullify and Purify. Dragon Man is a powerhouse of champion, but all of his abilities are either buffs or debuffs, making him very susceptible to Nullify and Purify effects. So some weaknesses he's got there. So the following stats and abilities are going to be all based off of a rank 5, 65, a signature level 200 5-star champion. So passives, Dragon Man's thick armor and advanced robotics, so he's a robot, grants him full immunity to bleed, poison, and armor shatter. So we have the first robot in the game that's immune to armor shatter, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, so yeah, Medusa won't be able to shut this guy down. Neither will Vision Arcus. So yeah, that's very weird. But he is immune to bleed and poison, which I do like. That screams suicide masteries to me. So if under the effects of an armor break, Dragon Man releases currents of mystical energy, dealing 117 degeneration damage every 0.5 seconds. Damage is increased by 100% against cosmic champions. So it doesn't sound like Medusa would be very good against him anyways, or like any cosmic champion that regularly inflicts armor breaks. So his offensive combat power rate is reduced by 35%, but he does make up for this with his power charge ability. So power charge. It's a buff. At the start of the fight, gain power charge, generating 12% of a bar of power every second. Power charge is removed when stunned. If 0 power charges are active, create one after 12 seconds. When defending, this duration is reduced by 4 seconds, so it'll be 8 seconds on defense, which is going to suck. When fighting science champions, upon receiving a non-damaging debuff, pause cooldown duration for 0.35 seconds. So cornered. This is a passive effect. While the opponent's back is against the wall, they are cornered. Cornered is unaffected by ability accuracy modification, so a champion like Domino will not be able to turn this off. Each hit deals 821.1 physical damage. This damage is increased by 50% for each ineptitude or unique buff on the opponent, up to 150%. So this is interesting, just extra damage on top of your regular combos and everything, and that's each hit. So, if you have the opponent against the wall, you're going to be able to do extra damage, and you will be able to do a lot of damage when you have the opponent cornered, which we'll talk about with his cycle a little bit. Now, the other really cool thing, so this is his power negating type ability. Opponent's defensive combat power rate is reduced by 70% while above 2 bars of power, and that's when they're cornered. So against the wall, if they're above 2 bars of power, 70% reduced power rate, combative power rate. So, like a power gain buff will not be reduced if you're fighting Hyperion, for example. But like the power that he gets from attacking him will be reduced by 70%. So this is going to be very interesting because you'll be able to just deal a lot of damage and just have your opponent stuck against the wall before you have to bait out a special attack, which there's some more stuff with that cycle that we'll talk about. So on opponent knockdown, gain an unblockable buff for 3 seconds. Duration is paused during special attack. So you can knock them down with a heavy attack and then go ahead and use a special attack, and boom, you're going to have an unblockable special, which is great, so just knock them down and then boom, tap that special against the wall. You're going to break through their block if they do get their block up in time. And heavy attacks on hit remove any incinerates on the opponent, each dealing a burst of 1173 energy damage. If 6 or more incinerates are removed, this damage is increased by 50%. So you can get about a 10,000 damage detonation if there's 6 incinerates on the opponent, which shouldn't be too difficult to do. 2 special 2s will get 6 incinerates active. So special 1, Blitzkrieg. The final hit inflicts a non-stacking slow for 8 seconds, preventing the effects of Unstoppable and passively lowering evade and Unstoppable ability accuracy by 100%. Opponents with natural class advantage cannot be slowed. When I first read this, I was like, 8 seconds? That sucks. And, you can't, refresh it or anything on it with a heavy attack like you can with Red Guardian. But with his power gain rate, you will be able to just keep cycling special ones to keep this active if you need to do so in a specific fight. So, it's good to just have access to a slow mechanic. So it's good to see it. The other part of a special 1, the first hit that contacts the opponent consumes 1 power charge to inflict an ineptitude debuff, reducing the potency of New Fury, Armored Up Precision, and Cruelty buffs by 75%. For 30 seconds. So a 30-second long debuff that you can apply, but it will consume your power charge. So you gotta a little bit give and take here with this, but your power charge will refresh in 12 seconds. Developer note, ineptitude reduces the potency of any buffs activated after ineptitude is in place. If fighting a buff-heavy opponent, get these ineptitudes on them as early as possible. Ineptitudes can invert the potency of buffs, allowing you to reverse the effects of the opponent's buffs. You also get some additional effects with these ineptitudes with your signature ability, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Now, special 2, Scorched Earth. All 3 hits of Dragon Man's Fire Breath inflict Incinerate, dealing 1173 energy damage over 25 seconds. Incinerates also reduce the opponent's block efficiency by 50% and prevents the activation of Perfect Block. Consume 1 power charge to generate a passive Fury, increasing attack rating by 1500 for 30 seconds. That's a pretty long Fury. And it's pretty good too, and this stacks. There's no cap on this. You can just keep stacking these passive Furies. But again, this does consume your power charge, so you do have to keep that in mind. But there's a way to get a bunch of power charges. So we'll talk about the rotation second. Let's talk about special 3 first. And we'll talk about the rotation I'm thinking of here. So special 3, Danger Close. Consume all stacks of power charge, each contributing 4 seconds to an Unstoppable buff. While active, the Unstoppable instantly regenerates 85% of hit damage received from all attacks other than special 3s. After this attack ends, generate 3 stacks of power charge. So after you use the special 3, you're going to get 3 stacks of these power charge effects. And if you have Diablo on your team, you'll actually get 4 of them. I think it was with Diablo, the synergy. So having 4 of these power charge effects, you'll very quickly get to a special 2. Boom, get right to a special 2, drop that. You're going to convert one of them into a Fury passive, get it to another special 2 real quick, convert another one of them into a Fury passive, get the opponent against the wall, start using your heavy attacks, detonate those incinerates on them. Dude, you're going to be able to get some pretty crazy damage output with all those Furies. And again, they're 30 seconds long. And then, you just go back to another special 3 and get more of them. And the really cool thing is, you're going to be unstoppable, and you're going to be regenerating 85% of hit damage received. You pair this up with recovery, which is 15%. I don't know if it's just additive, if you can get that to 100%, but if so, dude, even if not, like 85%, that's really good. And with recovery, you can probably get to like at least 90%. So you're going to be able to play super aggressive, just drop a heavy, boom, now you're unstoppable and unblockable, get the opponent against the wall, spam heavies, get off your special 2s. Like, this loop sounds pretty crazy. If special attack ends with the opponent cornered, use the unstoppable to charge into combat and keep Dragon Man's forward momentum up. What you can also do is right before you use the special attack is you can charge a heavy attack you have to knock the opponent down with a heavy attack, then you'll get an unblockable buff, and then drop the special 3 right away, and then right after special 3 you'll be unstoppable and unblockable, kind of like how Thing is after his special 3, but the opponent has reduced power gain rate above 2 bars when they're cornered, so you'll just be able to just keep nuking into the opponent against the wall, and if you get hit, you're going to be regenerating, which is awesome. Now, let's talk about this signature ability a little bit here. So, tactical programming. When any non-science opponent has specific buffs active, gain a unique effect. Potency is increased by 100% when fighting cosmic champions. So, if the opponent has a regen, reduce opponent's regen rate by 35%. I guess you don't even need the ineptitude to get these. So, you don't even need to have the ineptitude active on the opponent. But so regen, you're just going to passively reduce the regeneration rate. Power gain, reduce opponent's ability power gain rate by 35%, which could be good against like Hyperion. And these are buffs, so that has to be a buff, not just a passive regen effect or a passive power gain effect, like Spite, for example. Fury, you're going to gain armor rating. If they have armor up, you're going to gain attack rating, which is good, so just more attack if you're fighting someone with armor ups. And what we could actually do is it's doubled against Cosmic Champions, so this would be a 1600 attack rating against the Cosmic Champion. And if you're fighting something like Explosive Personality, that's going to give them an armor up buff, so you're going to be able to take advantage of this. So that's pretty cool. That's the one I really like. The rest of them I find a little bit underwhelming. If they have a precision, you're going to gain critical resistance. If they have a cruelty, you're going to gain critical damage resistance. So yeah. The power gain one's pretty good too, actually. I like that if you're fighting like a Hyperion or something. But yeah, I like this armor up one. It could pair very well with the Explosive Personality node. So Dragon Man doesn't have any way to remove the opponent's buffs, but he gains strengths the more buffs the opponent has active. Now we get to some synergies. So Dragon Man with Diablo. Dragon Man special 3 generates an additional stack of power charge. So like I said, it gets 4 with Diablo. And then we have one with Mr. Fantastic. Dragon Man ineptitude reduces the opponent's armor rating, attack rating, critical damage rating by 10%. It's alright, I guess. First Crush with Invisible Woman. While unstoppable and being attacked, Dragon Man reduces the opponent's offensive ability accuracy by 50%. Could be useful. If you get hit, just the opponent reduced ability accuracy to apply like debuffs to you or something, which you're immune to bleed and poison, but there's other debuffs that could be applied. Here we have Not So Hidden with Tigra. Dragon Man, while the opponent is cornered, their defensive combat power rate is reduced by 25% when struck by special attacks. So this is really cool. You can pair this up with the above 70% reduction above special 2 for a 95% reduced combat power rate for special attacks only. Normal attacks will be 70%, but with the synergy, you'll get 25% more for special attacks. So you'll just be able to keep throwing those specials against the wall, and you'll be able to push them very close to a special 3 So yeah, with this synergy, and even without the synergy, I mean 70% is already a pretty big reduction, but you just get it even higher with Tiger, which is cool. And then we have some recommended masteries here, and of course, Suicide's Double Edge and Liquid Courage because he's a robot, full immunity to bleed and poison. I feel like it's gonna kind of suck with recoil though. You know, if you want to drop a lot of special 2s to get those Fury passives going. But Despair, Dragon Man inflicts long duration debuffs on the opponent. He should be able to have 60 buffs on the opponent throughout the fight, so you can stop healing that way. And then Inequity and Resonate, similar to Despair, Dragon Man is already inflicting long duration debuffs, making this potency Masteries in his hands. However, the Ineptitude Dragon Man is capable of inverting Fury buffs. Coupled with these Masteries, Dragon Man can significantly reduce the opponent's attack rating. So that could be good, you know, just lower their attack. And when you're playing super aggressive, you know, if you get hit, you're going to regen it, but them having lower attack is nice. So yeah, some interesting masteries for him to go with. Really big fan of the suicide friendliness. But yeah, I see some pretty good potential here. Definitely don't think he's going to be the best Mystic champion in the game. But I'm excited to see him in action in this whole cycle and his damage output. I'm intrigued with the power charge abilities. Yeah, very interested to see how many of those passive Furies I can stack up and see what kind of damage output I'm capable of getting with him. It's going to be very fun to do for the CCP videos. But that's going to do it for this breakdown on Dragon Man's abilities. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like if you enjoyed the breakdown. If you guys want to see the Airwalker one, a link is in the description. You go check that out. And I'm also going to be making a video talking about the new update coming for August. So it's patch notes. If you guys want to check that out as well, it's on the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, though. Hope you did enjoy. Peace out.